Hope Channel, changing lives.
Another wonderful afternoon right here on Hope Channel Ghana, and this is Rhythms of Life, where we share experiences of people who stand out tall through life's struggles. Yes, so we tap into their experiences from them and move on through life, and at the end of the day make it to heaven. My name is Nana Akusia Buache, but before I move on, I want to pass this quick reminder that on the 12th of this month, that's October through to 22nd of this month, The Coming King, you've seen the flyers, you've watched the promos. Yes, we are going to have that Bible lecture series, learn more of what the scriptures say when it comes to we as Christians. So please make it a point to be part of this Bible lecture series. All right, so today my guest is one honorable man. Yes, he is an elder and a family man as well. Osubetelde, they know him. Probably the rest of you don't know him. So today we are going to know more about him and tap into his experience of life and learn one or two things and unlearn certain things when it comes to life. So today my guest is Elder Frank Nanayao Aning. Elder. And a surprise o cacao. Mention the Nanayao.
Yeah. I didn't know you knew Nanayao also.
Oh, I have to. I hope you're doing well, Elder.
I'm doing very well by His grace. Yes.
We thank God. And then your way here.
Yes.
It was smooth.
It was smooth.
We thank God for life. And then how is work? How is Ecobank?
Oh, we are very well. We are doing very well. I mean, we are a very strong bank. And within the country, we are one of the leading banks in Ghana. So I feel very privileged to be working with Ecobank.
He's trying to hype his bank. Anyway, being an Adventist, how many of you, Ecobank, where you are the headquarters, right?
Yes, I'm at the head office, yes.
How many Adventists aside you?
Oh, I know quite a number. I mean, and Adventists transcend all departments. You know, the good thing about a bank is that the bank has many departments.
Okay.
And it cuts across. It's not just finance. There are lawyers, there are IT experts, there are people who have knowledge in project finance, people who know a thing or two about various industries. And so in the bank, at least the few that I've encountered within the bank, they cut across. I know those who are in IT, I know those who are in operations.
So roughly you are like about...
Oh, I wouldn't know. Interestingly, I keep discovering Adventists by the day. You know, I met this guy, he says, and I know you. He says, yes. Are you an Adventist? He says, yes. You know, it's quite interesting. You keep discovering that there are more Adventists within the bank that you may not have known.
No.
So there are quite a number of us.
You've been with Ecobank close to more than 13 years, but I know you just didn't join the bank, Ecobank, at once. Probably there are other professions you encountered, or all your life, right after university, has been with banking.
So my professional career has been in finance. So I've worked in investment banking, and I'm now in commercial banking. So I started off with an investment bank, data bank. You know, you see, the investment banking, we are more into investments. And so I did things like capital market analysis, company valuations, investment recommendations. So I did that for a couple of years, and then I joined Ecobank as a commercial bank. And I've been with Ecobank for Quite a while.
Quite a while. You were with Data Bank for like 4 years.
For about 4 years. Yes.
Before moving to Ecobank.
To Ecobank, yes.
Through the oil and gas. Is it banking, most of the time people tag that thing of a bit of stealing, conniving, putting things together, subtracting, dividing. But being an Adventist working in the banking sector, how has that experience been? Have you been caught in that position before?
So let me correct that right from the beginning. The banking industry is an industry that requires integrity. Why? Because people must trust you before they give their money to you. So if you are not a person of integrity, you cannot work in a bank. Banks have institutional structures that ensures that people who do not demonstrate a high level of integrity are weeded out. And so if you deal with somebody who works in a bank and you see that their actions, whether explicitly or slightly, giving you hints, if it is officially known, and this is not just with Ecobank, any bank, that person will be sacked immediately. So within the banking sector, anybody who tries to extort monies from you, once you make it known officially, those people are out of the sector. Why? Because it is an institution of integrity. In my bank, integrity is one of our core values. And I know within the industry, it is a cardinal value across all banks, and not just here in Ghana, globally. Banking is an institution of integrity. And so if anybody demonstrates a lack of it, that person is weeded out immediately. And so that is how banks work. Otherwise, you will not give your money to somebody who is not very straightforward, right? That is why people are able to keep their funds with bank and then go to sleep knowing that their funds are safe. All right. And so if you meet anybody whose actions are shady, it is their personal trait, and the institution will weed them out once they are found out. And we adhere to those strict disciplinary policies. And I know it is not just with my bank, but across the industry. Integrity is core to our operations. Yeah.
Being an Adventist and now Ecobank West African, that's Anglophone, meaning not only in Ghana, across West Africa. How are you blending that with, and you're a church elder as well, blending that with your duty as an elder and as an Adventist as a whole?
Right. See, life generally, it's based on how you manage your time. I have an obligation to my bank, and the Bible explicitly states that you must not shortchange, your employer or the people that you serve. And so you must give your time. But you also must manage your time such that you are also able to make time for the work of God. Every ability that we have is a gift that God has given to us. And therefore, in recognition of that gift that God has given to us, we must give back. God's requirement of us is not just in the monetary terms where we return a tithe and offering. He also requires that we also give back some of our time. And therefore, you must manage it. Now, you cannot say because you are serving God, you will shortchange your employers. No, you are not being a faithful steward. And therefore, you must manage it and ensure that you give your due to your employers. You give your very best, you perform excellently, you excel in what you do in your workplace. But that notwithstanding, you also make time to serve in the vineyard of God. It may require a little bit of work on your part. You may have to work longer hours than normal. Okay, if your working hours is 8 to 5, but you also need time to work for God, you must make sure that within that 8 to 5, you deliver. Where there are responsibilities, tasks that you need to do, and you have to, after work, also do God's business, you must put in the extra hours. It means that you may have to take time off your sleep, wake up early or sleep late, so that what is required of you in your place of employment, you deliver. Working for God is no excuse for shoddy work or mediocre work in your workplace. You must deliver. In any case, for us as Christians, wherever we find ourselves, we must strive for excellence. Children of God must be known to be people who excel. It is not mediocre. Your work must stand out. When somebody takes something that you have done that has your name to it, it must stand out. There shouldn't be flaws in it. Oh no. Once it has my name to it, it must be excellently done. When somebody takes my work, they know that, this was done by Frank. And so it makes it possible for you to have some privileges. If you excel in your work, if you are adding value to your company, it is much easier to get some privileges. For instance, for us as Adventists, we go for camp meeting.
Yes.
Okay? At some point in time, you may need some time off to go for camp meeting. Why will your superior give you that time off when you ask for it at that time? Because you bring value to the company. And so they know that tasks, duties, and responsibilities that have been given to you will be completed and completed on time. And so it means that you make the requisite provisions in your work to ensure that even when you are away, tasks, duties, and responsibilities are fulfilled. And so if they give you 4 days off, the institution as a whole is not going to suffer because you are physically not present. If you know that next week you are going to go for camp meeting and there's a task that needs to be done, work, even if it means extra hours the week before, 2 weeks before, to ensure that you clear your desk such that those 5 days or 3 days that you are going to need, you don't shortchange your employer. And so that is why it is important for us to excel in what we do. So that I know that we're going to go for camp meeting in August or somewhere in September. So I have a plan. I know my schedules, the things that I need to do. I work at it and make sure that before I ask for those days off, I have cleared my desk or I have put in place measures to ensure that my company does not suffer because of my absence. So you can be sure that your superior will allow you to go because you have showed yourself to be trustworthy.
Yeah, you made mention of all that, but has there been any situation whereby there's been difficulty that you've been caught in the middle as to work and then church?
So you see, for us as Seventh-day Adventists, there comes a time when the Sabbath becomes an issue, where sometimes your institution or the persons that you are working with says, oh, no, but you have to, this is important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like those kind of meetings,
Yeah.
short meetings, cup
Okay.
meeting, lunch meetings, and
You
all
know,
that.
so it is important that you show yourself to be valuable to your institution. Okay? Then you can have, as I said, some privileges. Now, the fact that I won't be able to meet on Sabbath, come to work on Sabbath, doesn't mean that the work cannot be done. You make provisions to ensure that the work is done. For me, as an Adventist, keeping the Sabbath takes priority at all times.
You are ready to give up your job for
If
church?
it means that, yes, if it comes to that. But you see, it is not something that we should be pushing. That, oh, look, if you force me, then I'll leave the work and go to church. Okay? Demonstrate that you are able to deliver. For instance, if we have a task to deliver on Monday, okay, and you say, no, but we have to come over the weekend to work. The weekend is not only Saturday, okay? The weekend can also be Sunday. So while others may not be able to come on Sunday, or you may not be able to come on Saturday, then negotiate to ensure that your bit that needs to be done to ensure that whatever needs to be delivered on Monday is delivered. You put in the extra work.
Even if it's a presentation?
If it's a presentation that needs to be done on Monday, but if it is something that you
Like
cannot physically,
Saturday.
you cannot be physically present. Okay, for instance, if we have, for instance, a strategy session, okay, that is scheduled for the weekend on the Sabbath. Okay, you are not a one-man team. If there is a presentation that needs to be done, ensure that your presentation is done and properly edited and ready before you leave the office on Friday. And so that I may not be physically present, but my presentation can be done. I can have a team member present for me. You walk them through what your presentation is and deliver your presentation before. But it is very clear that you are not able to come on Saturday. Now, I can also assure you that if you deliver efficiently, effectively all the time, every task and duty that is assigned to you, you deliver excellently. Okay? The people that you work with will understand. And you must be consistent. Oh, I won't be able to come on Saturday for work. But when it is entertainment on Saturday, you are available. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yes.
If it is this social meetings, that you are available. But when it is work, you are not available. This Saturday you are available, next Saturday you are not available.
Yeah.
So if you want to honor God and keep the Sabbath, be consistent. But importantly, make sure that your work is always excellently done. Make sure that you bring value to your institution. Right from the very first day that you enter that organization, make sure that everybody in that organization, whichever department you work, they know that you are bringing value to the table. You become a valuable asset. If you are a valuable asset, you cannot be disposed of easily. You understand?
Yes. How are you able to climb up the ladder like that throughout this 13 years and counting to up there? Now you are in charge of the West African Anglophone. How did you climb up?
It's very simple, I say. Hard work. You work hard and ensure that you deliver.
Hard work like how? Always they mention hard work like how? Sleep at the office, do extra work at the office, maybe 2-3 days I'm still sleeping at the office, and then the next morning I just go. Is that hard work? Hard work like how?
Every institution wants value. Every institution wants people who add value to what they're doing. Every task and responsibility that is given to you, it is expected of you to deliver and beyond what has been assigned. So you have to apply yourself to the work that is given to you. If it means research to know how it is done, what is the best practice. You know, if you're doing business as usual, you never go anywhere. Okay? You must always ensure that you are going beyond what everybody else does. You know, there's a story that is told of two workers who were asked to prepare orange juice for the office. Let me use that example. So the task was given to the first person. So he goes to the market and says, oh no, they don't have orange juice. So then maybe we cannot have the juice. So the boss asks another person, please, we need some orange juice for the office. He goes, there's no orange. Yes, it's true. But he comes back and says, okay, there's no orange. But there is mango, there's watermelon, there's pineapple, there's this. So although we may not be able to have orange juice, we can have a cocktail, or we can have a variety of this and that and that and that. You are bringing solutions to the problem. If you're given a task, prepare these accounts. It may not be the usual accounts that you know. It may require applying yourself, giving the resources that you have to produce something that adds value to the work that you're doing. And this does not only mean those at the top. It starts right from the first day that you enter the office.
So how did you start? Did you start as a researcher, or you started as a teller, or you went straight up as a researcher to help with the company?
Okay. So let's take, for instance, Ecobank. I've stayed the longest. I started as a credit analyst.
A credit analyst.
A credit analyst. So my job was to prepare when a company wants a credit, for instance. It is my duty to ensure that we look at it, what they want, and then ask for approval for it. Now, how do you do that work? It is important that although there may be a format, you educate yourself to understand what the bank wants. Okay? And then also educate yourself to understand how to do the analysis and the presentation. If a client brings a request, you don't take what the client has brought. Understand what they want to do. So that even if it means engaging the client that, oh, you want an overdraft, but for the purpose for which you want the money, an overdraft may not be the best. Okay? You may rather want to consider 1, 2, 3 options. Have a discussion, engage your clients. Bring up a solution that meets the client's need and then also satisfies what your company wants.
Using one stone to kill two birds.
Exactly. So you are adding value to the work. And so you may start as a credit analyst. Maybe you are just credit analyst for one sector. But given the competencies that you are bringing to the work, you know, people see what work you do. The superior at that time who reviews your work, reviews the work of other people also. So when they take your work, there are no typos, your sentence construction is good, your presentation is well organized. Okay? They take other people's work, they're just following the format, just filling it in. It differentiates you from the others. So in no time, they're adding other sectors or other industries to your work. What does that do? It expands your experience. Then you educate yourself. Before you write something, you educate yourself. Oh, I've never done any work in this industry before. Oh, this one, I've not done some before, so I cannot do it. No. If you want to rise, that is a new challenge. It is a new level. So educate yourself. Talk to people who have done it before. Read about it. See what others have done before. Then put all that knowledge together in your presentation. Then you find out that you do 1, 2, 3. Then you become an expert in it. Do you get it? So because of your attitude to work, you don't shy away from tasks. You embrace them and you ensure that you deliver. Then more work, they say what? The reward for hard work is more work. But more work means progress.
More money.
As you progress, additional responsibilities come. Then they will give you, okay, now we want to venture into oil and gas. Who should we look at? We want somebody to manage our oil and gas team. Then let's call Akosia. We have not done it before, but if you look at Akosia's attitude to work, it is something that he would take up the challenge and work with it. Oh, we want somebody to be in charge of our Anglophone West Africa business. Who should we give it to? This guy has a positive attitude. He takes up responsibilities. Then you progress. So, attitude to work is key. Hard work and improving yourself. Not shying away from responsibilities and duties. That is how you progress in your career. But if you are, what is this? You would never move on. But if you want to progress, take responsibilities. It may not be your duty, but take it up anyway. That is how you add to your experience.
That is how you add to your experience. At least we've had a gist of how he climbed up the ladder. Add up to your experience. Let's go for this quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
There is beauty all around when there's love at home. There is joy in every sound when there's love at home. Peace and plenty here abide, smiling fair on every side. Time doth softly, sweetly glide when there's love at home. Love at home, love at home. Time doth softly, sweetly glide when there's love at home. Ooh, kindly heaven smiles above when there's love at home. All the earth is filled with love when there's love at home. Sweet to sings the brook lit by, bright to beams the azure sky. Oh, there's one who smiles on high when there's love at home. Love at home, love at home. Time does softly, sweetly glide when there's love at home. There's love at home. There's love at home. Safely from all harm I'll rest, with no sinful care distressed. Through thy tender mercy blessed, when there's love at home. Love, love at home. Love at home. Time doth softly, sweetly glide at home.
Welcome back from that break. Yes, there's love at home and there's peace at home if we look up to God. Yes, that's when we get all these things. Today my guest is Elder Frank Nanayao Aning, who has worked with the Ecobank for more than 13 years, sharing his experience with us. If you just joined, you've not met so much. He has given us a gist of how he climbed up the ladder to where he is now, heading West Africa Anglophone, for Ecobank. But Elder, during our conversation, you made mention of, the extra work and all that. You have family staying late outside or even at home. There's some people who are at home, but their family really don't have the best of them because they are either attending to church members or it's office work. How are you able to have that quality time with your family?
So, I mean, it's all about management, you know. If you manage your time well, I have a wonderful family. They're very engaging, and they want your attention. And the attention is full attention, not half attention, you know. So, you manage your time. If there's work to be done, when during the working hours, you ensure that your work is done. If you go to the office and you spend the time chit-chatting during working hours, you don't get your work done. Okay? I have learned quite a bit from people, predecessors, Adventists who have worked in very high-level offices, and yet they make time for God's work and make time for the family. You know, life is like a bicycle tire with spokes. You must ensure that all the spokes have adequate length. Otherwise, your tire will not be round. So, make time for the family. Make time for God's work. You know, for me, the three core areas of life are work, family, and God. Not in any particular order. If you have to take maybe God first, family, and then work.
Well, like the triangle kind of life.
So it is important that you make time for the family, especially when you have young children growing up in the family. It is important as a father to be there in their lives.
Exactly.
When you are there, you are there. Let's sit down and have a conversation. Let's chat. Let's laugh. Let's watch TV together. Let's play Oware. You know, that is when you impart some of life's principles to your family members. Make time for your spouse. You know, the children, your spouse was there before the children. You know, I tell my children that, look, your mother was my wife before you became my children, you know, so let's make time for ourselves. Go out if you can. I mean, make time to go out with your spouse. Sometimes when you go out, the kids are like, hey, are you not taking us with us? We say, no, we cannot take you with us.
So you have the moments whereby you go out with just your wife and not the kids.
Of course, we need to make time for ourselves. We were there before before they came, we were there, you know, so we need to make time for ourselves and then also have family time together. But it's all about ensuring that there's a good balance. I believe in God's work. I believe in making time for God's work. We live and move and have our being because of what God has given us. But God has also given us a family that we need to manage and maintain.
How many children?
I have three wonderful children, very engaging, you know. There's no dull moment with my kids. There's always something to talk about. There's always something to argue about. There's always a story with a nice twist. There's always somebody to tease, you know, and you don't dare not make a mistake. I'm sure that after this program, if I make some errors, it's going to be the center of discussions, you know, at home. You said this word like this. So anytime I speak anywhere and I know they're going to be watching, I'm careful with my language, which words I choose, because it's going to be a center of discussion. So I have three wonderful kids, very engaging.
So among the three kids, a boy and a girl, or two girls and a boy, or two boys?
I have a boy and two girls.
Two girls.
Yes.
Any of them interested in finance?
At the moment, they have all kinds of ideas. It's a free world. I would want my children to explore their own abilities. They don't have to be like me. Life's fulfillment depends on them. As a father, my role is to guide them, to teach them, educate them, equip them, so that they can live a full life that they are happy about. So if you're making choices that are not in your best interests, we'll have a conversation. Okay, these subjects that you're choosing, look at your competencies. They do not match. You may want to consider that and that and that. We'll have a conversation. But they don't have to come to finance. If it's engineering they want to go, it's fine with me. If they want to do medicine, if you want to be a teacher and you find fulfillment in it, I will help you to be the very best teacher that you can ever be.
You mentioned competence, meaning that you've actually take a close look at your children, what they are capable of doing and what they are not capable of doing.
I believe that is our duty, or my duty as a parent. I have had life's experiences and knowledge in living, and that must be imparted to my children. They say experience is the best teacher.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to always be your personal experience. So my experience must translate into their experience, in that from what I have seen in the world, I should be able to use that to guide them in their choices. So I observe my children, what they do and what they do not do. Tasks that you give them at home, tasks that they take up at church, wherever we go, I observe them. I know who is capable of what and who is not capable of what. And so then with that, I can give them guidance based on my understanding, experience in the world, based on my assessment of what they are able to do. Then we'll have a conversation. Then I can give you guidelines as to where I think you're going to be best fitted, based on your experiences, how you can maximize your life and have a full, satisfactory life. You know.
You made mention of life experience. Growing up, how was it like for you?
Exciting. I'm very adventurous, you know. I had all kinds of experiences in life. I enjoy adventure. I've been a trotro mate before.
You've been a trotro mate before?
Yes. I've done quite a bit. Done some farming too, you know. I came from the village. My hometown is the village.
The name of your hometown?
Sorry?
The name
I come from Adaswansi. Adaswansi is in the eastern region, not far from Enyinem, on the Accra-Kumasi highway. All right. Every vacation we go home. When I was young, every vacation we go back to the village. We had a farm. We go. I had the privilege of meeting my great-grandmother in the village. And so when we go to the village, we wake up very early in the morning and go to the farm. How
many siblings?
I have two others, so there are three of us.
Okay.
I'm the oldest, so I got the privilege of seeing my great-grandmother. The others, I'm not too sure they met the old lady. Old lady was a very tough one, you know. The whole village knew her, you know, so. And every vacation we'll go to the farm. I wasn't an Adventist then. We'll go trap.
You were not an Adventist then?
No, at that time.
So
we'll go trap okusi and have some nice okusi soup and all that. So farming was right from my childhood. So I enjoyed that. And I've had quite a lot of experiences. At some point in time, when I was in secondary school, I did quite a few apprenticeships. I was an apprentice in a computer shop.
Even before you go to the computer shop, what school?
Laboni Secondary School.
Laboni.
I went from Form 1 to Upper 6.
Upper 6. Okay, so it was your time that you have that Upper 6, Lower 6.
I went from Form 1 to Upper 6.
Okay,
when I was in secondary school, I was an apprentice in a computer shop. So on weekends, I'll go to the shop. Vacations, I'll go to the shop. And this is not a wood factory. This is your normal carpentry shop. Okay, so I'll go there. I was in secondary school, but my teacher, my master wasn't a secondary school graduate. He was a professional carpenter. So I have a few carpentry skills. I learned tailoring a wee bit. We lived in a compound house, so
which part of Accra?
In Osu.
Osu.
And the tailor in our house, I was his apprentice. Learned a few tailoring skills. So I'm adventurous. I like to learn stuff, do stuff with my hands. So growing up for me was exciting. You know, Osu is not too far from the beach. You go and swim in the sea and without permission, and then you come home and you know what you're going to get. My mother will be ready, you know, to make sure that I got a few lashes for going to the beach without permission. You know, so growing up was quite interesting for me. Life experiences were quite good, I must say. It brings you up.
Is it that when you're growing, you actually didn't know what you really wanted to do? It's like you see this enticing, let me try it. You see the other is enticing, let me try it.
No, I knew that I was going to go through secondary school. God was blessed. I was blessed enough to make it through the common entrance. I was very good academically. But that notwithstanding, I enjoyed these extra activities.
Is it to make money to support your education?
Not necessarily. I mean, actually, I didn't make money from any of these. It was just to learn the skills. I enjoyed doing that.
Meaning that home, there was money at home then?
My parents were able to take care of us. We were not rich people. My mother was a teacher, and my father worked in an office. Okay, so it wasn't that we were sitting on a ton of money. Yeah, but I didn't lack growing up. But I didn't have to do this extra work for the money. I enjoyed acquiring these skills. Carpentry or tailoring, you know, those were activities that I enjoyed doing. I spent time with those ones also. So now in my home, I don't usually call a plumber or a carpenter, or I will fix some of these myself.
Yourself.
Unless it is, you know, you should always know your limits.
For you end up being
Exactly,
executed.
exactly.
Yes, that is true. But then, did you see yourself to be in the finance side, like growing up? What were you looking up to become in future?
So in secondary school, my drift towards finance was in secondary school. In around about Form 3, I was very good with accounting. You know, so one of my teachers, we had a conversation. She said, "You're very good in accounting, so you should pursue accounting." You know, so right from secondary school, I knew I was going to go into finance. I wasn't doing badly in the sciences either, but you know, when you are doing excellently in the subject and you get guidance. So right from secondary school, I knew I was going to go into finance. Yeah.
All right, so dear one, yes, it's Elder Frank Nanayao Aning sharing his life experience with us. You can join in also through our WhatsApp number 0559 680066, or you can drop it at the comment section on Facebook. That's Hope TV Ghana, or YouTube Hope TV Ghana. Elder, being the firstborn, did you feel like there was, you know, a role you have to play? You know, as Rebecca said, also being the firstborn of the family.
I think that for being the first of 3, you did what you have to do. I didn't see that, oh, my other siblings are looking up to me, you know. I did my very best.
For you were not having that kind of feeling?
I didn't have that pressure, you know. I think that our age gaps were quite large enough so that, you know, you'll be done with secondary school before the other one starts, you know, so there wasn't too much pressure. But it was important that I did my best. My mother is a teacher, okay, she's retired now. But as a teacher's son, education, there was no compromise with that.
No.
You know.
By the time they say teachers for manner,
No,
they are
not
really good
in my mother's
academics.
case. My mother is a teacher, and therefore you must excel in your academic work. She will help you with your work and make sure that you studied. At the time I was in primary school, my mother was teaching in a school nearby. So the teachers knew that my mother was a teacher. You cannot slack in class. Hey, teacher Niba, where are you waiting? You know, you get extra lashes because your mother is a teacher, and therefore you shouldn't make these mistakes. And so education-wise, it wasn't just me and my brothers. You have to excel. She will help you at home, so you have to study to excel. And we all did very well in our academic work.
So what religion was the church into? Because you made mention that you were not born into an Adventist home.
No. I found the Adventist church when I was maybe, I don't know, 14, thereabouts. It was one of these vacations.
Before that, were you Presbyterian, Methodist, or what denomination?
So I recall from my baptismal certificates that I was baptized a Methodist. I have a baptismal certificate from the Methodist church. But when I was younger, before I joined the Adventist church, I was going to the Presbyterian church. In primary school, I went to the Presby Boys Primary School in Usu. So I guess naturally I drifted towards the Presbyterian church because in my school, in my primary school, you have to go to church on Sundays. And my school, Usu Presby Boys Primary, was next to the Ebenezer Presby Church. And so worship was in the Presbyterian church.
And your parents were okay with that? You not going to the Methodist with them and
my parents were also going to the Presby Church at that time.
Oh, okay.
So we're all going to the Presby Church. My mother was teaching in a Presbyterian school. So
we are yet to find how you got that Methodist baptismal.
So the Methodist church in my village, the Methodist church is just across the street from our house. So when we go to the village, we go to the Methodist church.
Okay.
When we come to Accra, we go to the Presby church.
Interesting.
So I mean, my great-grandmother was a staunch Methodist.
Methodist, okay.
So when we go home to the village, they'll ring the bell, gong, 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 and sorry, we all go to the Methodist church. We go to church on Sundays in the Methodist church. But in Accra, we went to the Presby church. Yeah. So it was one of those vacations that we went. My mother comes from Adaswanse. My father comes from Kwabing. Kwabing is on the other side of the highway, It's about another 7-8 kilometers from Enyinem. So during those vacations, I was with my mother in Adaswanse, but I went to spend some time with my auntie, my father's big sister, in Kwabing. During that period, then there was an evangelistic campaign. I was in secondary school.
How old were you then?
Maybe 14, 15, thereabouts. So there was an evangelistic campaign by one Pastor Amfo in Kwabing, in the market. I remember it vividly. It was in the market. So every evening I will go, it wasn't too far from our house, I will go and sit down and listen. And so throughout the period, I was convicted that the Sabbath was the day of worship and not Sunday.
At that age?
Yes. And so I decided that I was going to be baptized and join the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And God has blessed us. My mother was a Presbyterian then, but she did not oppose. Neither did my auntie.
What of your dad?
My dad didn't oppose either. So my mother sat me down and says, "Hey, where's the Nabeko? When you say, as the former what? You say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she was taking care of you and all that, and they were eating it.
Yes. And if you come from the Achim area, Medwaye is a very important delicacy, in my village, But my mother had that conversation with me. And I indicated to her that I believe what the Osofo said is from the Bible. And so I want to keep it. She says, okay. And I thank God for my mother. she does the cooking, but she ensured that my food was not with Ngwajaye and Koto and all those things. And I thank God when we came back to Accra, I joined the Laboni Church, and I went to church consistently every Sabbath. And in no time, my mother joined. Actually, my brother, after me, started to go to church with me.
With you?
And then my mother joined. And then later my father joined. So now we are an Adventist family. You know, it's been a journey. It's been by the grace of God that we've come this far, you know.
Is it that you were having that conversation with them time to time?
Yes. I mean, I remember the time my mother joined. Pastor Lamy was leading a crusade. At that time, he was a district pastor and the church pastor for Laboni Church. And they held a crusade, a campaign in Osu. So I invited my mother to come. You know, at that time, my younger brother was coming with me anyway. So I invited my mother consistently to come. And we will go, you know. And then I believe that during those series of lectures, she also came to understand what I have come also to understand, you know. I believe that also sometimes it's about how we do what we do. I want to believe that if I was not diligent in my worship, she may not have seen the value in it, you know. If we live what we believe, the people around us will see the value in what we believe.
Not necessarily preaching all the time.
Exactly. And then it becomes easier for you to invite them to join you. But if I was a young man claiming to be an Adventist and doing every other thing that every other boy is doing, which didn't make a difference, then there would not have been any value in she even coming to the crusade. You know, so I want to believe that maybe the commitment and dedication that I showed towards my newfound faith was good enough to make her want to come and see what has my son seen, you know, and God did the rest. So it's important that we live what we believe, and then that becomes, our actions will speak louder than the words that we speak. So now the whole family is an Adventist family, and we are grateful to God.
Yes, you're grateful to God. Elder, our time is almost up, but some few words of encouragement. Through you growing up, you shared a bit of your experience and up to where you are right now. Something small for we, the youth, and even those coming up.
My catchphrase, if you come to Bethel, is always that if you mind God's business, God will always mind your business. You know, in Hebrews, the Lord word says that God is not unjust, okay, not to see the ministry that you are ministering unto his saints. So that if you mind God's business, God will always mind your business. It doesn't mean that we should fold our arms, but rather we should be diligent in our work. The scripture says that, have you seen a man that is diligent in his work? He will stand before kings and not mere men. So let us mind God's business and let us be diligent in the work that we do.
You're doing.
And we will rise up to the top. The sky will not even be the limit.
We've actually had Elder Fu, playing. If we're not able to join us right from the beginning, don't worry. You can just go back and rewatch again, Facebook and then YouTube, and that is Hope TV Ghana. Yes, you can rewatch again, and then if I'm not able to read your comment out for you because our time is almost up, please forgive me. But then a big shout out to all of you. Say God richly bless you. I've learned something from what Elder shared with us. Be diligent in all that you do. Be mindful when it comes to God's work. At the same time, whatever you find to do with these two hands, do it so well with clean hearts and then clean mind. I've unlearned something. I don't know what you have unlearned and have learned. Let's live with that. As Adventists, yes, Christ is coming, but we can still upgrade and climb life's ladder. Elder, thanks so much that you came in and then you shared your experience with us, and we've learned one or two things from you. Extend our greetings to your family.
I will.
Yes, God bless you. And God bless you too, our viewer, for always making time to watch Rhythms of Life. But before any other thing, a quick reminder that from the 12th of this month, October 2022, to the 22nd of this month, 2022, this October, the Coming King Bible Lecture Series. Please make time to join. And there's an upcoming all night this coming Saturday. I don't know if you joined from the beginning with our prayers. You know, we had a 30 days prayers and it's ending this coming Saturday. We are ending it all with an all night of prayers. As Christians, until Christ comes, we have to arm ourselves with prayers. So Saturday, we are going to do that. If you can't join us at Asaman Kese, don't worry. You can join us online. That is Hope TV Ghana. Let's pray for Mother Ghana, for ourselves, for our children, our loved ones, our family. My name is Nana Akusia Boache. Until we meet again next week, please be diligent in all that you're doing. God first, your work. All right. Yes, you're good.
Excellent.
To complete it in you, you're doing your best to turn from sin. You think you're the worst, but don't give up. You're never alone. You're not your own. You'll be faithful to complete it in you. He who started the good works will surely bring it to completion. Give it all your best and leave him the rest. He will do. Don't forget to read his word and lead him daily on to prayer, trusting every day on his promises. To complete it in you, you fall in